Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are back for our game number 3 against Team Malaysia versus Team Singapore. So, a little bit of correction. Singapore leading by 2, and Malaysia with that 1 win. In terms of the default processes, I think nagkabaliktad kami kanina. We've got it the other way around. So, some corrections has been made. And before we start this game, huge shout outs, Mr. Ryu, do the honor.
Yeah, so especially for this Malaysia and Singapore matchup, shoutouts to their team captains, Nameless from Singapore and Neutrals from Malaysia. And on the other series, Vietnam versus Philippines, shoutouts to Justice Simon, the captain for Vietnam, and DLSMIZEL for the Philippines.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen. So, to introduce our players onto the bottom left corner of Pillars of Gold LE, we've got the Green Zerg from Team Singapore, Kingstar. And now onto the upper right corner of Pillars of Gold LE, we've got the Red Terran fighting for Team Malaysia. We've got lliks. Alright, so we have another TVZ matchup that would be happening. So a little bit of background here is that I think lliks is from the Diamond Division. I think both of them is from the Diamond Division. So things are going to be interesting as we see here, ladies and gentlemen. So standard opening for both teams. We'll see if Kingstar would is now Team Singapore's turns to actually do some cheesy stuff at this point of the game. But we'll see about that. The drone is already making its way onto the third base. So I think this is pretty standard.
Yeah, so we'll see in this game, I think, whether or not these Zergs can afford to keep pushing into the Terran bases early on in the game, because as you said earlier, if you try to do that all in on the Terran and you don't make a huge enough dent or even win the game,
Yeah.
they could come back and crush you.
Yeah, I think that is one of the strongest points of the Terran race is that they have really good points in terms of resiliency. Like it is really easy to come back if you're a Terran because you have the mules, you have uh, you have buildings that can easily block off any kinds of all ins. What? Nadisi ako?
Really?
Nag-attempting to reconnect eh. What? Anyway, narinig mo ako?
Yeah. I can sa Discord you can check
Check.
my stream.
Hindi ako na DC, pre. Nag-lag tapos may
Ah,
lumabas na attempting to reconnect.
okay. Pero in-game ka pa?
Yeah, I'm still in game.
Okay.
So anyway, back to the game. Standard 1-1-1 opening with to the side of Team Malaysia. Lliks opting to go for that Reaper Hellion harassment. So we'll see. I think this game would be pretty standard. It would be a good showcase in terms of mechanics of our players. So I think the Southeast Asia League is also a good avenue to showcase your skill, to showcase the current esports landscape of each country.
Yeah, it's also really great to be representing your country in something like this,
Yeah,
even
man.
if it's uh not that what how do you say this? Yung hindi masyadong high stakes.
Yeah. Like we do this, like we play this tournament for fun, for camaraderie, like to keep
Yeah, but
to fuel the passion alive. But still, the honor
these
of
kind of tournaments,
yeah.
they elevate the skill level of the region
Mm-hmm.
because you're playing against the best,
Yeah.
so that increases your skill.
So yeah, I think it also means that uh even though you meet each other in ladder, because to be honest, as I see the player pool, I see these people a lot on the ladder. This is a different kind of thing, since this one you're representing not only yourself, not only your MMR, but you're representing your country also. So this is a good fixture for the Starcraft scene in the Southeast Asian region. Now Medivac already being popped out here with Stim. This would be a bio play coming in from lliks, but the Hellion Harassment has not done much damage. So good defensive reactions onto the side of Kingstar. Here, ladies and gentlemen, Link's Bane Speed already making its way. Fort Base 2 onto the side of Kingstar. So not that no harassments as of yet happening onto these both sides.
Yeah, and who would you say that is more in favor of?
Well, I think at this point, I'm really not sure why we have a 30 supply differential. Uh, but good surrounds here onto the side of lliks. I mean, onto the side of Kingstar actually is getting two Hellions there. Yeah, at this point things are a little bit standard, but lliks is falling down in supply really hard at this point of the game. So we'll see on how Kingstar would be reacting to his opponent. As of the moment, Lair Tech already available, but we'll see. Now, Spire follow-up being added here onto the side of Kingstar, so we might see another Link Bane Mura, which is really good in this map, to be honest. This map is really big, it's really hard to defend, it has a lot of bases and it has a lot of airspace for those Mutalisks to wreak havoc onto your mineral line.
Yeah, and great creep spread so far from Kingstar, almost at the middle of the map. This would be really helpful for not only his defense, but also when he
Yeah,
is
when
already choosing to push
mhm.
out.
Yeah, well, especially if you're opting to go for that Link Bay Muta, you need those creeps, creep spread really spread out well, since you want to overrun that Terran army that you are dealing with. Now, Kingstar would try to do a little bit of run by here, but he needs to scout out those Widow Mines.
Oh,
Oh!
oh,
Not that juicy, but still a good shot on those Widow Mine. I'm fully aware that Kingstar would be aware on that Widow Mine placements. But the Mutalistic already being produced here, ladies and gentlemen, but not reaching that critical mass as of yet. But in terms of macro, wow, Kingstar already near the 200 supply.
yeah. Ahead of supply, ahead in minerals,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
ahead in worker count and in army. So this is pretty scary for Licks.
All right, so here comes the Mutalist harassment coming out to the side. Oh, hello.
Oh,
Ah,
it's you, Chor.
ah. Wait, pag nag-quit siya, dapat hindi nagaganyan eh.
Well, not sure, but yeah.
Nag-alt F4. Nag-alt F4.
Okay, okay. So let's just wait for Yuchor to be disconnected. But yeah, as you were saying, these Mutalisks, they can really wreak havoc into this base if
Well,
unchecked.
yeah, well, Kingstar already making his way. And in terms of macro, Kingstar overpowering the macro of lliks. I think Kingstar is already near the 200 supply max max supply. So and now lliks is at 100. So I think isa sa mga key points 'yun eh, na pag Zerg yung kalaban mo kailangan nang haharas ka. You want them to be out of their natural rhythm. Kingstar would be sniping away this tech lab, but no more significant research done here. But here comes the Mutalist. Would wreak havoc, would be sniping away onto that missile turret. And while all of this is happening, a multi-prong attack here. And Kingstar would get the surround on lliks. But this main mineral line has been cleared out onto the side of Kingstar. Team Singapore really showing us that they can really play despite them being placed onto that fourth seeding.
Yeah, and speaking of that fourth seeding, we saw earlier Psycho
Yeah, Psych.
bouncing back from
Yeah,
yesterday.
bouncing back, getting the win onto that on neutrals. Here comes the Widow Mines. Will try to defend this one, but they are unbarrowed as of the moment. lliks is struggling a little bit in this game, but we'll see. Maybe he can still come back. But I don't want to hype it that much. Things are looking a bit dire already for him for this Malaysian stalwart. Look at that supply difference, man. This is too much. I
Yeah,
think.
Kingstar almost at 200,
Yeah.
but Rick still has some minerals and gas to play with. So
Hmm.
let's see if he can bounce back on this one.
Yeah, I think this is too much already onto the side of lliks. These Mutalisks are just zoning out this army. Kasi I think whenever the army of lliks would move out, the Mutalisks would just try and do a run by. Oh! I thought we might have seen the Widow Mine shot of the century, but here comes the main force of Kingstar already making their way across the map. Would maybe try and engage, since the Mutalisks are wreaking havoc and forcing the reactions onto the side of lliks. Here, ladies and gentlemen, not enough banelings as of yet, but
Your base is under attack again.
yeah, I think lliks would just opt to go for an all-out base trade. But I think I know. Tingin ko alam ko na saan papunta yun, pre.
Ano mangyari?
Puputok to lahat. And here comes the big engagements
Yeah,
coming in
oh.
from Kingstar. Good surround.
Oh.
Not allowing lliks to micro out that one. Anong marine split suntukan lang. Yeah, GG has been
Ayun na,
called
the GG
by
call.
lliks. Good win coming in from Kingstar. Superior macro during that game. So
Yeah, very surgical.
yeah. So I guess at this point, Singapore goes up 3-1. One more win and they advance into the next round. And Team Malaysia. Team Malaysia having a bit of trouble here since they are now down 3-1. They would be fighting. They need to fight for their tournament lives to avoid to falling down into the losers bracket. So before we set up the next game, we will be having a short break once again.